This is the newsroom for today, Friday, June 25, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarsi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, more resignations hit the People's National Congress reform as members rail against David Granger's leadership.
Look your left, look your right. Everybody's a pensioner.
President Irfan Ali rejects reports that Guyana refused flood relief from Trinidad and Tobago. The government is working on legislation to oversee a new crime-fighting initiative. The health minister says about 87 people are hospitalized daily with COVID-19. And in sport, Ansi trading in Kevin Alicock's corner for Olympic sojourn, and Guyana's women suffered tough defeat in Indoor Pan American Hockey Cup. With the news, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. We started by telling you that the People's National Congress Reform, the largest party in the APNU AFC coalition, was on Friday grappling with more youth withdrawals. Within the last 2 weeks, several youth members have either resigned or not renewed their membership, and there are also talks about some prominent leaders breaking away to start their own political parties. Kurt Campbell reports.
While PNCR member Simona Brooms dodged the question on her resignation, another youth member, Brian Smith, has confirmed to the newsroom that he chose not to renew his membership to the party. Brooms, on the other hand, when contacted by the newsroom, said she did not resign from the People's National Congress reform, but was clearly surprised when asked about reports that she's contemplating forming her own political party. She did not rule this out, but said she will wait on the Lord to guide her decision.
If I'm considering my own political party?
Yes.
I'm considering nothing yet. I ain't ruling nothing out, but I'm considering nothing yet. If you notice, I'm a Christian person and I would wait upon the Lord.
Smith, on the other hand, explained that while he has not resigned from the party, he has taken a decision not to renew his membership, a decision that can be essentially interpreted as his exit from the party and politics altogether. General Secretary of the PNCR, Amna Ali, was initially contacted by the newsroom to confirm the exit of the officials, but she refused to comment and also turned down the opportunity to clarify whether Brooms was also planning to start her own political party once she breaks away from the PNCR. I do not discuss my party business in the media, so ask Simona Brooms if you want, Ali told the newsroom via telephone. Smith, who has noticeably taken a backseat in party matters in recent years, said that his membership came to an end in 2020 and he is determined not to renew it.
The constitution of the party is clear. And how you participate in anything is by membership, by having valid membership. If you don't have membership, then you don't have a vote.
Right. Asked about his reason for leaving the party after some 15 years of service, a chuckling Smith said he isn't prepared to be burdened by the inheritance of older fights. Smith said he had earnestly believed that being a member of the party would afford him the platform to advance the interest and agenda of young people, but that never materialized. He criticized backward thinking and delayed advancement in several areas.
And whilst I don't discount the efforts of those who've come before, I thank them for their service, thank them for their fight for independence. But I believe that it's time for us to chart a new course, a new direction.
Right. Although still passionate about national development, Smith said he will not be creating or joining any new or existing political parties, but stands ready as a professional to serve Guyana in the advancement of its development. Smith did not restate any support for former President David Granger, whose leadership has come up against a bombardment of criticism before and after his defeat at the March 2020 elections after just 5 years in government.
I think there's need for a new direction. And I think young people are of that level of consciousness. We've given people time. So, okay, you usually argue that we don't know what happened before. So fine, we give you the time to tell us what happened before. Now you've given us that historical lesson. Allow us to tell you what we want for the future. And I don't believe that there is space for us to do that in this construct. And as such, I encourage all young people, to chart your own course.
Smith criticized what he said was a top-down approach, where young people are seen as an equal.
You look left, you look left, look right. Everybody's a pensioner.
Right.
And an example I've given to many people, I said, if you give an empty plot of land to a pensioner, to a young person, a pensioner and give you a talk about a playground or a resting place.
Right.
A young person talking about a business development opportunity. And that lies the crux of the matter. There's not a blend of old ideas and old principles and new ideas. That doesn't exist.
Other youth members of the party have notably taken a backseat from the front lines of the political fight. Last week, attorney Tandai McAllister withdrew her membership from the PNCR, a party where she served for more than 25 years. She maintained that her upset is with the party's current leadership, where Granger sits at the helm.
I believe that the former president has served his time, and perhaps he has served well when it was most needed. He provided a catalyst for change, and I earnestly believe that that change should have taken place quite a while.
Change in leadership.
Change in leadership, yes.
She too encouraged young people to chart their own course.
And with several youth members walking away from the People's National Congress reform in direct criticism of the leadership of former President David Granger, businessman Sean Hopkinson has also done the same. Hopkinson sat on the Central Executive Committee of the party for 3 years, but said he began staying away from meetings because he felt his voice was not being heard. According to the PNCR's constitution, a Central Executive Committee member who stays away from consecutive meetings will lose their elected status of the committee. Hopkinson, who is in the mining business, told Newsroom that he missed all the meetings in recent months on purpose. The businessman explained that his departure from the PNCR can be regarded as a withdrawal from politics altogether. Asked about his reasoning for the decision, Hopkinson said, and I quote, "Sitting there was like a rubber stamp, a waste of time."
Sitting there is just like a rubber stamp. It's just a waste of time. You're sitting there, and there's not much contribution. Your contribution doesn't really make any sense. Basically, it's very dictatorial, man. The leader controls, and he controls his people, and they do make the decision. So there's no democracy there in respect of anything.
Right, and when you say
so I realize it's a waste of time. I'm a businessman. I don't have time for waste. When you go there, sit down for hours and no contribution. I just find myself at the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know who went in here. I personally don't know.
President Irfan Ali on Friday rejected claims in the Trinidad press that Guyana has refused to accept flood relief items offered by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. During a telephone interview with the Newsroom on Friday, Dr. Ali said the reports were inaccurate. He explained that the request was for portable pumps for which the specifications have been forwarded to the Trinidadian authorities. Dr. Ali suspects that Trinidad was responding to the list disseminated by the Civil Defense Commission, the CDC, which had included food supplies, but with Suriname also offering a similar fate. Guyana has since clarified that its urgent need is for pumps.
What Guyana communicated is that the foreign minister had a conversation with the foreign minister of Trinidad, and what we did was to ask for some specific help in relation to pumps, right? Because we had food and food supplies covered, and we don't want to burden anyone in areas that we had covered,
right,
and we continue to have covered. So our need was and continue to be those, the portable pumps. I don't have the specifications offhand here, but the portable pumps. And what happened, we made that request and they asked for the specifications. And we sent the specifications. So we are awaiting back a response now. Remember, there was an original list that was sent out by CDC.
Correct.
Right? And Suriname is also suffering. So in the conversation with the minister, we clarified with Trinidad what the needs were, and that was pumps. If Trinidad, if they don't have the pumps, then we will have to purchase pumps, and we're looking to purchase these pumps too because we'll need them in the future too. But as it is now, that is the need. So we're not, and the rebuilding efforts, of course, we're now doing the assessment to see what will be needed in the rebuilding efforts.
Okay.
So I can't speak about any other item. I can speak about what is needed now.
The head of state said with an assessment currently on the way, Guyana will have to look at accepting other items at a later stage. All 10 administrative regions in Guyana have had to battle the effects of excessive rainfall that has led to flooding at varying levels. With waters now receding, Guyana will soon commence its recovery and rebuilding efforts. Legislation for the Regional Joint Support Team, a new crime-fighting initiative, is in the works and should be finalized soon. This is according to the Minister of Home Affairs, Robson Ben. Vishani Raghuber has our story.
The new crime-fighting initiative, named the Regional Joint Support Team, was recently revealed in the National Assembly by Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gail Teixeira. There, she said that the new unit was crafted to aid the crime-fighting capacity of the Guyana Police Force GPF and would comprise members of the GPF and the Guyana Defence Force GDF. On Thursday, however, while addressing a handing-over ceremony at the Covent-John Police Station, President Dr. Irfan Ali highlighted that specialized regional crime-fighting outfits will be essential in keeping citizens safe.
I've said that the nature of crime is changing. So we have to create specialized regional outfits that has a multifaceted menu of skill set that can respond rapidly and effectively to varied situations. That is why you will see people who are trained in special forces. You will see specialized police officers. You will see persons from Kano being part of that regional hub, that regional unit we want to create. Because in dealing with today's criminal and criminal type activity, a variation of skills is required.
When approached by the newsroom after that event, Minister of Home Affairs Robson Ben said that the specialized regional outfits that the President spoke of is the same as the Regional Joint Support Team mentioned in the National Assembly by Minister Teixeira. There, he explained the purpose of these teams and what has been done in setting these up.
They're intended to provide support to the forces when they're out on operations and to prepare grounds for them out there in the field. We're discussing it, we're finalizing it, the legislation is being worked at finally, and you'll be informed.
The minister could not state who will head these teams, nor did he state whether the development of the legislation was being guided by any specific timeline. In the recent sitting of the National Assembly, Minister Teixeira, however, requested a supplementary provision for the period ending December 2021, requested to allow for the setup of this Regional Joint Support Initiative. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Raghuber.
A man allegedly stabs his brother to death in Georgetown, and the health minister says about 87 people are hospitalized daily with COVID-19. This is the newsroom. The Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, says there is an average of 87 people locally who are impacted by the more severe effects of the disease, COVID-19, and require hospitalization. Vishani Raghuber tells us more.
During his daily COVID-19 update on Friday, the Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony provided the figures for the average number of people who have been hospitalized for this year so far.
On a daily basis, the amount of people in hospital would vary, but on average, we can give an average number, which would be the mean between the highest and the lowest that we've had for that month. So on average for January, we had approximately 18 persons per day. In February, that increased slightly to about 23 persons. Then in March, that went up to about 38. In April, that went up to 66. And in May, it's approximately 87. And in June, it remains around 87. Now, this is an average between our highest and lowest number. So it doesn't represent the true numbers that we'll have per day. So a good example of that is that today we have 73 persons in our hospitals. And we have, of those 73, we have 18 in the ICU. So again, it varies by day. So these numbers that I'm giving you is just an average.
As he spoke about the hospitalization of patients, the health minister explained that the new Delta variant, a strain of the coronavirus that recently originated in India, has been causing some concern worldwide due to its greater transmissibility. This transmissibility means that the virus can spread much faster from person to person.
This particular variant has 9 mutations on the spike protein. And because of where these mutations have occurred, this particular variant is more transmissible. So it is twice more transmissible than the alpha variant, which was the one that was in the UK, and you know that one was really highly transmissible. So this one is even more transmissible. So that's one of the hallmark. So if people get it, it is going to be passed on very quickly. In terms of severity, again, this one is very severe. And what they have noted is that people who are unvaccinated would be the persons who would be getting infected with this variant more often.
To date, Guyana has not been able to ascertain whether there are any variants of concerns here due to a lack of in-country testing capacity, though advisor on emerging viral diseases at the Pan American Health Organization PAHO, Dr. Jairo Mendez Rico, indicated that the P1 variant of the virus that originated in Brazil is present in Guyana. Still, Dr. Anthony on Friday said that maintaining the COVID-19 protocols such as wearing a mask, maintaining a social distance, and getting vaccinated would help to protect from the increasing harm of any of the variants. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Raghabir.
A heated argument between brothers turned deadly on Friday when one armed himself with a knife and stabbed the other in the presence of their mother. Shakima Day has our story.
A man was on Friday morning taken into police custody after he reportedly stabbed his brother to death for hitting his mother during a heated argument. The incident occurred at Lot 101 Cummings Street, Georgetown at around 8:30 hours. Dead is 24-year-old Paul Chase of Norton Street, Georgetown. An eyewitness told reporters that she was unpacking her goods from the upper flat of the building moments before the stabbing occurred. The woman said that Chase and his brother, 27-year-old Quincy Reynolds, were upstairs with their mother arguing when she heard the mother rebuking one of them for something they did.
Then next thing I know, I've heard the other one saying, "By why you cuff mommy?"
She beat the mother.
Mother, right? So when I heard that now, and then the one said, "Oh, you're going with it for a knife," and then I left downstairs and I went upstairs. When I went upstairs,
when she heard that, the woman ran upstairs and saw one of the brothers holding a knife. She reportedly attempted to make peace, but the two brothers continued to argue. In a fit of rage, the eyewitness said that the one brandishing the knife then attacked his brother, stabbing him multiple times about the body.
Then he started to attack that one now. Take over, finish with the mother and started quarreling. And the brother said, "Man, he was like, sure, I said, you can't do me them things." And you know what I mean? And so, the next thing I know, he started asking me with some money. I said, "I got no money for this." And with this, he jump up and attack this brother.
Stab him up.
He jump up and attack him. You know the boy, the rascal,
yeah. Stab you up. We stab you up with. We stab you with a knife.
Police were then summoned to the scene and the body was transported to the Lycan Funeral Home awaiting an autopsy. Investigations are ongoing. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Shakima Day.
Grade 11 students attending the North Rheinveld Multilateral School in Georgetown, which was recently affected by a fire, will be able to sit their CSEC examinations in the school's auditorium. This is according to the Minister of Education, Priya Manichand, who on Friday addressed the 65 students who will be sitting the examinations on Monday. Vishani Raghabir tells us more.
On Saturday last, the main section of the North Rheinveld Multilateral School was gutted by a fire. The school's Smart Information Technology classroom, Home Economics room, and library were all destroyed. This fire resulted in significant distress for the students, some of whom are preparing to write their Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate examinations. Since then, however, a number of stakeholders and personnel from the Education Ministry engaged each other with the aim of ascertaining the best solution that would enable the students to comfortably sit their examinations. The consensus was that the students would be able to sit these examinations in the school's auditorium, which was not affected by the fire if adequate renovations could be completed in time and if their safety could be guaranteed.
I was at home doing some work, and then I got the call from my aunt saying that my school is on fire. So I was in a state of shock. I couldn't process it all at once to know that I just left school Friday, only to hear on Saturday morning that the school was on fire. And it's definitely something I would never like to go experience again, knowing that the school that I was placed at 4 years ago had burnt. it was a lot to handle, but here I am standing, and I'm happy today to know that the Minister of Education would have tried so hard and worked so hard with us just so we can stay here in our comfort zone, in our home, to bring back our school from nothing to something.
On Friday, Minister of Education Priya Manikchan met with the 5th form students and related that they would be able to utilize the auditorium to sit their examinations.
We took 1 week to bring this school to a place that looks nice and looks easy here. But if you live in the community, you would know the day and night work that we had to do to bring this here, and how we had to engage so many different organizations and ministries and people to get this done.
Meanwhile, with the computer equipment in the school completely destroyed by fire, the students have to move elsewhere to sit their Electronic Document Preparation Management (EDPM) examination next week. The school's head teacher, Alison Cosworth, said that the students will sit this examination at the Government Technical Institute (GTI), which is located on Wolford Avenue, Georgetown. In light of this, the Education Minister said that transportation would be provided to students so that they can go into the institution to sit this examination. She also said that meals would be provided to the students on the days that they have examinations. These are all short-term measures aimed at allowing the 5th form students to sit their examinations. The head teacher, however, said that she is hopeful that the reconstruction of the school will commence quickly. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Raghabir.
Still ahead on the newsroom, a rice farmer dies by suicide after severe flooding piled up his debt. This is the newsroom. The damage done to his crop when the rainy season hit was too much for quarantine rice farmer, 54-year-old Narayan Singh Dindial, whose debt piled high. Unable to clear them, the farmer reportedly died by suicide earlier this month. His son, Parmeshwar Dindial, told the newsroom on Friday during a telephone interview that his father, who has been in the business for over 25 years, suffered a huge loss when the floods came, with over 45 acres of rice damaged. According to the younger Dindial, his father began to stress about the situation because of the number of bills that needed to be cleared. Dindial said that his father had once mentioned that he would take his own life due to the debt troubles. However, he stated that days before, his father was in high spirits after deciding that he would venture overseas to work and send money back home to pay off his debts. But the family did not expect the worst to happen.
You get about 5 rice to harvest, and couldn't cut none of it. And you get a lot of debt. You get damage for people combine, you get mortgage for your house, you get crop loan. To chemical and rent and all that stuff. He was making attempts during the week. So during that same week, he will try to make some attempts. And at that day, he looked changed. He said that he would go overseas. He was spend on 2-3 months and he could catch one job or something. So cannot be able to change and we feel happy. No time is about 3 hours he's going to do this.
The younger Dindial said that with his father's debt, the creditors are now turning to him to repay the monies owed. The family is now contemplating their next move. Farmers all across Guyana, like Dindial, suffered millions in losses when the rainy season commenced. A total of about 6,900 households in 5 regions are severely affected by flooding. The Ministry of Health will be hitting the east coast of Demerara this weekend with 2 COVID-19 drive-through vaccination exercises set to be held. On Saturday, the Health Ministry's team will be at the popular K&K gas station at Union Mahaika, and then on Sunday the team moves to Trans-Pacific Auto Spares at Good Hope. During an interview with the newsroom on Friday, Dr. Cheryl James, the medical officer with responsibility for communities on the east coast and east bank of Demerara, said the ministry has set a target of 1,000 jabs. This, she explained, will further boost the ongoing vaccination campaign and push Guyana closer to achieving herd immunity. The team will be distributing first and second doses of the AstraZeneca and Sinopharm vaccines. Only the first doses of the Sputnik V will be available. Both events kick off at 9 hours until 15 hours.
The vaccination drive should start at 9 a.m. and it will wrap up at 3 p.m. So we are going to encourage everyone to come out, regardless of where you're located. If you're going to visit Barbies, If you went scaled on wherever you went and you want to pass by, you can always stop by. We have competent staff there. Everybody will be willing to vaccinate you. And luckily, you'll be one of those persons say, hey, I got vaccinated.
The 12th installment of Guyana Restaurant Week will be held from June 25 to July 4, 2021, with 20 COVID-19 compliant restaurants on board. With an increase from the 13 restaurants that participated in the height of the pandemic in 2020, 5 new eateries have joined the event this year. They include Keisha's Crab Shack, Altitude Cocktail Bar and Grill, Hard Rock Cafe, RS53 Resto Bar and Lounge, and the Flame Restaurant and Grill. Here's Kurt Campbell with further details.
6 years running now, the 12th edition of the Guyana Restaurant Week is being held in collaboration with the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana (TAG) and the Guyana Tourism Authority, sponsors and participating restaurants. Prefix menus are 3,000 and 5,000 or 6,000 for lunch and dinner. The newly elected president of TAG, Yesu Persaud, has indicated that all locations have been inspected by the Guyana Tourism Authority and provided provisional compliance by the COVID-19 task force.
I'm sure everyone appreciates whenever you travel, one of the main things you do is look for food. And having 20 restaurants take part in Guyana Restaurant Week, it shows the progress that Guyana is making. For sure, next Restaurant Week, it's only going to be increasing. I can see that we have a lot of persons who are willing to give their best and explore the options to offer a variety of food. So we're not going to be bored with just one type of dish.
The participating restaurants are Keisha's Crab Shack, Altitude Cocktail Bar and Grill, Hard Rock Cafe, RS53 Resto Bar and Lounge, The Flame Restaurant and Grill, Agman Indian Restaurant, Bistro Wine and Champagne Bar, Cafe Bellavana, Bottle Restaurant at Carol Lodge, Java Coffee Bar, New Thriving on Main Street, OMG Arwak Steakhouse, Sukri Restaurant at Herdmanston Lodge, The Duke at Roraima Duke Lodge, Gourmet Gerb, Terramari Restaurant at Marriott, Hibiscus Restaurant, The Lime Restaurant at Parkview, and Grand Coastal. Among those present at the launch on Thursday was the Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Onej Walrand. She believes that since the genesis of Guyana Restaurant Week in 2014, there has been growth, not only in the participation of restaurants, but the level of interest from Guyanese.
Guyana's unique cultural mix is truly reflected in our cuisine as we delight in the flavors that embrace our diversity in almost every dish. This Restaurant Week is sure to demonstrate that what we can accomplish by applying our creativity, inspiration, and passion to the culinary arts.
The minister used the opportunity to publicly commend the firms in the tourism sector for their resilience during the ongoing devastating pandemic. Walrand challenged the chefs and bartenders to bring their A-game and show their versatility in the food and beverage industry. For the Newsroom, Kurt Campbell.
When the Newsroom returns, the financial weather and Brit reports along with sport. Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We start things off with some hockey news. Guyana's women suffered a huge defeat in their opening game of the Pan American Indoor Hockey Cup, losing 22 to hosts defending champions and top-ranked USA on Friday. The Guyanese missing two key players in Sonia Jardine with an injury and captain Gabriela Riviere with a positive COVID-19 result were further depleted before heading on court with goalkeeper Alicia Riviere producing a positive COVID-19 result. Short on resources, the team manager had to take up the slack between the uprights, further throwing Guyana's pre-tournament plans into disarray. USA went on a scoring rampage, slotting home 14 unanswered goals in 27 minutes before Abosedi Cadogan scored the first of her two strikes. Cadogan scored in the 28th and 31st minutes. Hope Rose led USA to victory with 7 goals, while Ashley Sessa netted 5 and Elizabeth Yeager 3. Riley Heck and Corinne Zanoli scored a double apiece, and Madison Orobono accounted for the other goal for USA. Guyana's next match is against Argentina on Friday evening. Now, the Cricket West Indies selection panel today named a 13-member squad for the first and second CG Insurance T20 International against South Africa. The panel recalled that should be Andre Russell, the talismanic all-rounder to the squad, as the defending T20 World Cup champions, prepare for the matches which will be played at the Grenada National Stadium on Saturday and Sunday. The first ball on both days is 14 hours. One of the notable omissions is that of batsman Shimron Hetmeyer, who was selected in a provisional 18-man squad. The authors omitted are Sheldon Cottrell, Ocean Thomas, Akil Hussain and Hayden Walsh Jr. Russell is a two-time T20 World Cup winner, having been a member of the squad which won titles in 2012 and 2016. He has played 49 T20 internationals for the West Indies, and his last appearance was against Sri Lanka in Pallekele in March last year. West Indies squad reads Kieran Pollard, Nicholas Pooran, Fabian Allen, Dwayne Bravo, Fidel Edwards, Andre Russell, Chris Gale, Jason Holder, Evan Lewis, Obed McCoy, Andre Russell, Lendell Simmons and Kevin Sinclair. And West Indies and South Africa will meet in 5 T20 internationals starting on Saturday in Grenada. For both sides, while series success will be the ultimate aim, these matches will prove to be crucial in preparing for the World T20 in October and November.
Rankings may tell another story, but on paper it is a David and Goliath clash between West Indies and South Africa. West Indies in this case is certainly Goliath, and unlike how the biblical story went, form and team depth may prove to be too much for David-type impact for the Proteas. Both Kieran Pollard and South Africa's captain Temba Bavuma are up for the challenge and to lay a platform of preparation for the World T20 this October-November in India.
Again, to be honest, I've said it before, when you look at the ranking and where we rank right now, there are different things that has happened between the last World Cup winning team 2016 till now, hence the reason why we ranked at number 10. So for me, I don't look much into that, and it's about how we play our cricket and how we want to play our cricket going forward in the future. One thing about South Africa, yes, they're ahead of us. They're confident because, some of the guys might have played in that test series and, they beat us, 2-0. So they've come in full of confidence and, we already started on the back foot as well. So, that's fine, but we're just looking forward to, trying to play good cricket and trying to improve on what we started in that last series against Sri Lanka.
South Africa's T20 international captain Bavuma is fully recovered from injury and said they're eager to test themselves against a side he deemed to be one of the favourites for the World Cup. South Africa has lost their last 4 T20 international series.
As a team, we've had various conversations, discussions. We've exhausted them in terms of the type of cricket that we'd like to play, and now we have an opportunity to really test all of that against a strong, experienced T20 outfit. West Indies are an obvious favorite when it comes to the T20 World Cup. So, for us, I guess it's fortunate that we are able to test our skills against their skills. And I think as well, it will give a clearer picture and understanding of the guys who feel will be able to do what's needed to be done come the World Cup. So I think, it will be a good measure, it will be a good test, and it will really give us it will really show us where we stand in terms of our game.
The match on Saturday in Grenada bowls off at 14 hours. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Boxing news now. Olympic-bound bantamweight boxer Kevin Alcock has gotten a further boost in his journey to next month's games in Tokyo, as Ansimakal Trading has given him $150,000 Guyana to aid in his preparation. Akim Green reports. The 22-year-old
Alcock will become the first Guyanese boxer in 25 years to compete at the Olympics, and according to Tristan Joseph, Corporate Communications Officer at Ansimakal Trading Limited, this support is just the start of a great plan by the company to support the boxer and other athletes in the future.
Just a start, to be honest. It was short notice. The association actually reached out to us, and he's going off to Russia on Tuesday, I believe. So it's just a start of a partnership. I'm sure that we will continue going forward when he returns. So this is a ballpark figure, just to say the least. But when he comes back, I know next week we're looking to do some other stuff with him. On Monday, we want to give him some GNC because we do GNC as well. We're going to do some stuff with GNC for him as well, whether it's product or gears. But, I think Ansimakal has been a trendsetter right now at this particular point in Guyana sport, where we look forward to having a relationship with our athletes, with our national athletes, because we see it important not just as development for them, but for the country as well. If they go out and do well for Guyana, then Guyana wins. And, I think it's only beginning of what we're about to do. So just to answer your question, I think, we will see a lot more athletes coming on board with Ansi McCall in the near future.
Alicock expressed thanks for the support and offered some advice to other young athletes who may want to achieve similar, that they need to work extremely hard and keep believing.
It's been a couple years, I know, but didn't have support, but I train hard, I stay disciplined, I learned to trust in God, because this is the most important thing, putting your trust in God. Listen, you're going to get some rough roads, you're going to meet some bad passage in life and in the sports. So my advice to them is that you need to stay focused, and because this is just a process. The years that passed me, it was a moment to teach me, it was a moment that prepared me for this moment here, so it's about the journey, just don't focus on the destination, you have to work with the journey. So, it's going to be tough, it's going to be hard for the first couple of years, you cannot just get there. A true champion has to lose, you have to lose, you have to make mistakes, but the beauty of it, you have to learn from those mistakes, to become stronger and better, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and spiritually, which is the main thing. So learn to trust in God, be focused, and your turn is going to come. Nothing is not going to pass you. It's been since the age of 6, I started the box, and my focus has always been at the Olympics. I've dreamed about this since I'm a kid, and here I am living that dream, which is a blessing from God. So yeah, keep focused. You're going to get some rough, you're going to get some bad decision. You're going to get it here, you're going to get it when you go out there, but learn to use it as a motivator, as a builder, because that's what I do. I turn it into energy. When something is bothering me, I get into the gym and I do my best.
Alicock is set to depart Guyana on Tuesday for Russia, where he will spend the next 3 weeks in a high-performance camp before he heads to Tokyo for the July 23 to August 8 showpiece. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Meanwhile, producing an Olympic athlete is a lengthy process and a very costly one. That's the word of President of the Guyana Boxing Association, Steve Ninval. Even without those financial resources, Guyana has been able to produce a boxer to the Olympics for the first time in 25 years in the name of Kevin Alicock. Ninval, in an exclusive interview with Newsroom recently, put into perspective the investment needed to properly prepare a boxer for the demands of the global games.
In order to get to the Olympics, to produce an Olympic athlete, we are more or less talking about $1 million US, more or less, and that's a very conservative figure. In Kevin and in the boxers from Guyana, what we have are some very, very focused and hungry athletes. But sometimes this alone cannot get you to the Olympics. It cannot. And you need to have the fine-tuning, you need to have preparations and so forth. There are some boxers in Russia who go to every single competition that there is. And this is Italy. And when you look at that, there must be a serious investment. There must be a serious plan on how you get from there to here to there. What happens and what puts a psychological burden on the association, which will be passed down to the athletes, is the fact that you might set a 4-year plan, and you don't know if you might be able to work half of that 4-year plan or a quarter of that 4-year plan. And at the end of the day, what happens is that the country demands a medal from you. But who do you demand from in order to prepare for the demands of the country? So that is something that we have to work on, because we are putting in 25 and 30%, but we want to extract 100%, and that cannot be right. If you ask me, Kevin should have been in a bubble, in maybe in some country, since April. Since April. Whether or not he was going to, if we know that he has a chance of going, then he should have been. But then who do you go to and see? And we have to remember too, this is Olympics. The persons who should be taking up the mantle and baton is the Guyana Olympic Association. And this is not knocking anyone. This is not a Caribbean championship. This is something that I think that monies have been put aside for. And we're speaking right now with the Guyana Olympic Association. I'm sure Mr. Juman Yasin and his hard-working executives will see the need and will see it fit and will see it right to support this endeavor.
Football news now. After touching down in Miami on Wednesday, Guyana's senior men's national team, the Golden Jaguars, engaged in their first training session on Thursday afternoon ahead of their CONCACAF Gold Cup prelims game against Guatemala on July 3. Head coach Marcio Maximo, along with the assistants Wilson Toledo, Charles Pollard and Wayne Dover, took the players through their paces during a session that allowed the players to get back to the groove after a long day of travel from varying parts of the globe. Maximo revealed that the session went well given the circumstances of long travels by the players, but that the intensity will be back to its usual in the ensuing days. The team would be engaged in 2 warm-up matches as the Guyana Football Federation seeks to ensure that the team is well prepared for the Guatemala hurdle. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, Newsroom.gy, our Facebook page and Instagram. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Do have a great weekend. Stay safe. See you back here on Monday.